Episode 9, the final act opening scene. The episode opens in the ashes of the burned-down lodge. The sun is rising, casting an eerie glow over Camp Arawak, now a smoldering graveyard of memories and horrors. Julie and Tommy, battered and barely standing, search for survivors. In the distance, Eddie emerges from the tree line, limping, covered in blood, but it's not his. They are the only ones left. Or so they think. A distant scream echoes through the trees. The killer is still here. ACT-1. Banding together with Angela gone, the group believes the nightmare should be over. But as they regroup near the old cabins, it becomes clear the killings aren't done. They find the body of another counselor, strung up inside the mess hall, gutted like an animal. Bloody messages appear on the cabin walls. The final act begins. Their only hope: survive until dawn and make it to the camp's emergency radio in the old admin office. But deep down, they know, the killer is still among them. ACT-2. The killer unmasked as they make their way toward the admin office. Paranoia and distrust tear them apart. Who is the real killer? Julie suspects Eddie, pointing out his disappearance during the attack. Eddie accuses Tommy, claiming he's been too calm about the deaths. Tommy doesn't trust either of them. Then, in the middle of their argument, they hear Angela's laughter. They turn slowly toward the sound. Angela steps out of the shadows, alive, her face streaked with soot and dried blood. She looks different. Tommy, you are dead. Angela, smiling, no. But I will be soon. Before they can react, Angela lifts a rusty axe and swings. ACT-3. A shocking betrayal. Angela attacks Julie, slashing her arm, but Eddie tackles her before she can land a killing blow. Angela laughs wildly as she fights them off, stronger than before, faster. Something is wrong with her. She knocks Eddie unconscious with a brutal hit to the head. Tommy and Julie barely escape into the woods. As they hide, Julie pieces it together: Angela was never the true killer. She was just another pawn in the camp's blood-soaked history. The real killer was one of them all along. ACT-4. The brutal confrontation. Tommy and Julie make it to the admin office only to find the radio smashed to pieces. A voice behind them: it had to be this way. They turn. Eddie stands there, holding a knife. Julie, it was you. Eddie, his expression eerily calm, finally confesses he's been orchestrating the murders all along. He was drawn to Camp Arawak's dark past. He studied the killings, learned their secrets. And now, he's finishing the cycle. Eddie, the camp isn't cursed. The camp chooses. And it chose me. Angela bursts in, blooded and crazed, lunging at Eddie. The final fight explodes in the tiny room, knives slashing, fists flying, bodies crashing into furniture. Eddie gets the upper hand, pinning Angela down. He raises his knife, bang. A single gunshot. Julie, shaking, holds a smoking revolver. Eddie staggers backward, blood pooling from his chest. He collapses, staring at the ceiling, a twisted grin on his face. Eddie, whispering it's not over. He stops breathing. Final scene and cliffhanger. Angela, wounded and weak, looks at Julie. Angela, you should have let him finish it. Julie, no more killing. A low rumble echoes through the trees. As the first rays of morning break over Camp Arawak, the ground trembles. The trees bend unnaturally. Something ancient stirs beneath the soil. Angela whispers, "You don't understand. The camp still wants blood." Julie and Tommy stare at each other in horror. Cut to black. Arawak rises the final battle against the camp itself. Angela's ultimate fate: is she the key to stopping the nightmare? Will Julie and Tommy make it out alive? Or are they doomed to be the next ghosts of Arawak? The end is here. And no one is safe. Episode 10, A New Beginning. Opening scene. The nightmare persists. A low, guttural rumble echoes across Camp Arawak as the ground shakes, sending trees swaying unnaturally. The air is thick with whispers, voices from the past rising like a sinister chant. Julie and Tommy stand frozen, blooded and exhausted, staring at the destruction around them, the bodies of their friends, the burned remains of the lodge, and in the distance, the dark woods that seem alive with something hungry. Angela, still clutching her wounds, laughs softly, a broken, eerie sound. Angela, It's waking up. Julie, what's waking up? Angela turns to her with cold, haunted eyes. Angela, the camp. ACT-1. The final secrets of Camp Arawak. Angela, knowing there's no escape, finally reveals the last and darkest secret, the truth behind Camp Arawak's blood-soaked history. Camp Arawak was never just a summer retreat. It was built on cursed land, the site of an ancient blood ritual meant to keep a supernatural force dormant beneath the soil. The murders that have plagued the camp for decades, they weren't random acts of violence. They were sacrifices, offerings to keep the force from fully awakening. Angela's family was connected to the original ritual. She was meant to die as a child, but by surviving, she disrupted the cycle. Now, after years of slaughter and unfinished rituals, the camp is no longer satisfied with just a few victims. It wants them all. Julie, then we stop it. Angela, smirking darkly, you don't stop it. You feed it. ACT-2. The final showdown. The camp begins to shift around them. Cabins collapse without warning. The lake churns violently, as if something beneath it is waking up. The woods twist into a maze, trapping the survivors inside. Angela, realizing there's only one way to end this, makes a shocking decision. She has to complete the ritual and offer herself as the final sacrifice. Tommy, no. There has to be another way. Angela, smiling softly, there isn't. They stagger to their feet, barely alive, barely comprehending what just happened. Julie, did we do it? Tommy, I don't know. They take one last look at the smoldering remains of Camp Arawak. Then, a single whisper on the wind. Angela's voice. See you next summer. Cut to black. Cliffhanger for season 2. Is Angela dead? Or has she become something worse? Did the ritual truly end, or did they just awaken something new? Will the curse follow Julie and Tommy? And most importantly, will Camp Arawak ever really stay closed? The nightmare never ends.